So just a bit of introduction. So us as Leeds City Council, we've partnered with Bruntwood SciTech just to develop this webinar series to complement the tech skills marketplace that took place last November. And they've got other series planned this year as well. This is a live drop-in event that happens at Platform in Leeds. The next one is possibly going to be sort of summertime in 2023. So the webinars that we're delivering are by Employment and Skills Leeds. So we're utilising partners from the Tech Skills webinars as the Tech Skills Marketplace as topic experts. And the aim of these webinars is just to help employers across Leeds to build up knowledge of all types of skills and talent solutions relating to sort of tech and digital roles. So the webinars are a free resource to our employers across Leeds, and the recordings will be made available at the Employment and Skills YouTube channel. We will send a link out as well for you, for anyone else that can't join or that wants to review it again. We've got other webinar sessions planned for later on this year, such as internships, graduate placements, upskilling teams, help and support to grow your team, the Leeds Digital Labour Market Information, and also tech boot camps. So, watch this space for further ones that's coming out later on this year. So just to introduce today's speakers, so our focus today, as I've mentioned, is apprenticeships. This is an option to bring in new talent to your organisation, and also as an option for upskilling existing team members. So we're due to have an option, or a speaker from Leeds City College. I'm not sure where Lee is, so we will come back to Lee's speaker slot as and when we can do that. We've also got Jazz from West Yorkshire Consortium, and we've got Patrick Brown from Baltic Apprenticeships. Is that is that a guest speaker? I can't see the teams. I think it's Jess, isn't it, on college? Okay, that's fine. So what I'll do, I'll just skip through the colleges and we'll come back to the college, and I will hand over to Jazz from the West Yorkshire Consortium of Colleges. So Jazz, over to you.
Thank you, Louise, and thank you everyone that's joined us today for this webinar looking at apprenticeships. So my name's Jazz here. I'm one of the skills associates that works within the region, supporting the colleges and more importantly, supporting the businesses within the region in terms of skills and training needs. So I'll go through a little bit about the organisation itself in terms of the Consortium of Colleges and some of the projects that we're delivering, and with a real focus on Collaborative Apprenticeships program, which is aiming to support apprenticeship uptake, delivery, understanding, and retention within the region. Should we go to the next slide? So WYCC, it's a lead organisation. We're based within the Leeds City College campus building. We work across the 9 West Yorkshire colleges within the region, also including Harrogate College, which is now part of Leeds City College or Luminate Group. The main focus of our funding is workforce development. So those individuals that are either in work or aiming to get into work within our region, and we pull funding pots down either at a regional level or national bids where we bid in on behalf of the colleges. And as I say, we're looking to work on FE and employer engagement and improving that relationship between further education and employers, which is part of the work that the government's looking to do and improve employer access to skills and training. So some of our current projects, we have Collaborative Apprenticeships, which I'll go into more detail with over the next few slides. As I said, it's a project that aims to improve apprenticeship. Firstly, the uptake of apprenticeships, so we need to get more apprentices within our regions starting. The retention, so if they do start apprenticeships, they're staying there for longer and they're working better within the employers that they're completing that apprenticeship for. And then lastly, any improvements in delivery around that apprenticeship work within our region. So we'll look at other areas that can improve apprenticeship delivery within our region. The project started probably 18 months ago now. It has an end date of delivery at the end of September. However, we normally have a couple of months to wrap up paperwork, etc. So it will complete at the end of 2023. There's still plenty of money available, and there's an opportunity for companies to get involved within collaborative apprenticeships. The second project I'm going to highlight Skills Connect, which is again fully funded adult training courses for individuals in terms of their work and their career progression. WYCC are focusing on a few areas, although Skills Connect is a larger program and it has other providers that are delivering provision as well. In terms of WYCC, we have contracts for the construction sector, engineering and green technologies. And then lastly, just wanted to highlight, we have a service deemed the Green Skills Service, where we've had some initial funding from the regional body to improve green skills delivery and access to green skills and green skills jobs in the future. We've had some pump priming capital funding within the colleges. Along with that, we're also aiming to support businesses in understanding what green skills courses are out there, what they can access, how the routes in terms of improving their sustainability and road to net zero. So that's a new project, and again, it's fully funded, and we can support employers with that. So we'll go on to the next slide. So just going back to collaborative apprenticeships, the main project that we've got within the region, it has three main aims. As I said, so it's firstly to increase apprenticeship uptake. So we have a number of short courses available for individuals, both in work and out of work, to get a flavour of different areas. So there's digital courses, short digital courses that can be the step into a apprenticeship course or a further training within the digital realm. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the digital sector, it can be digital courses to get into other sectors as well. The second area is wraparound provision for apprentices. So this is work we're doing in terms of the colleges where we're improving the access to different courses that the apprentices can access, not part of their main apprenticeship learning. So they may be doing something in hairdressing or business administration, but we're providing additional fully funded provision for those apprentices to enhance their skills and training ability within the employers that they're working. So again, some examples: cybersecurity, time management is a new one that's just come on board. It's from feedback from employers, etc. Lastly, as part of the funding, we're working with employers to better understand apprenticeships, and also we're supporting those members of staff that are working with the apprentices within the businesses. Some of the work we did previously, we realised mentoring is a big issue within companies, so we're offering fully funded mentoring training for those individuals working with the apprentices. There's mental health awareness courses as well, again digital courses, leadership and management courses as well. So it's not just the apprentices that we can work with other members of staff within your businesses that are working with apprentices. Okay, just to give you a flavour of the courses, we've got three main delivery partners, although they can support businesses across the whole region. So even if the business is based out in Harrogate or Wakefield or other regions where there may not be a college delivery partner there, the colleges that are delivering will support those businesses from those different areas. So we have over 40 courses available now through the college providers. Just some examples of the different courses available. So Leeds City College has a strong suite of digital courses as part of the Collaborative Apprenticeships offer. They've also supported quite a number of learners on the health and social care as well through Collaborative Apprenticeships. Shipley College, again, over 20 courses available. Some popular courses that they've delivered: leadership and management, customer service, equality and diversity within the workplace, which is again a new course that they've launched to support employers to help them with their apprenticeship retention and uptake. And lastly, Calderdale College, at present 6 courses and some examples there. So it's not just it can be for the employers, it can be issues of the digital apprenticeship account, can be mental health, supervisory training as well. Just a quick case study, just wanted to highlight one example of work with Leeds City College, where they're working with a sports provider within the region, where they're supporting individuals that may be going through a sports provision or sports training within at academy level. So there'll be 16, 17-year-old learners with IT and sales apprenticeship, where it wraps around their sports training and gives them the opportunity, if they don't progress on into that sports arena, they will have something else additional to come back to in terms of additional skills and training, where they can go on to look at employment in a different sector if they don't manage to go on through the quite narrow funnel of elite sports people within some of these elite clubs. Okay. And then lastly, in terms of my support and WYCC, if we get any referrals into the project, I will discuss the skills and training needs for those courses as part of collaborative apprenticeships, ensure that the employer is or the individuals are eligible for the provision, and then refer them on to the relevant provider that's delivering that provision. We'll keep in touch with the employers, give them additional information of other funded projects or unfunded training that might be relevant for that employer as well. So it's holistic support, not just one particular area. My contact details are below, and again, we can either go on to questions after this presentation or at the end. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. Has anyone got any questions for Jazz at this point, so we can come back to questions at the end? If not, no, that's fine. We will move on to Patrick.
Yes,
So,
thank you. Oh,
thank you for
sorry.
joining us. Sophie, to you.
Thank you very much, Louise, and thanks also, Jazz, and to Elaine for organising today's webinar, and thanks to everyone that joined as well. Today's agenda, I want to give you a bit of an overview just in regards to who Baltic Apprenticeships actually are, the areas that we actually specialise in, and a little bit more, a bit of an individual sort of little bit more information in regards to the types of candidates that we work with. So first slide, please, Louise. Thank you very much. So Baltic Apprenticeships, we've been changing futures through apprenticeships for over 15 years now. In 2011, our managing director saw that there was a massive tech and digital skills gap within the region. So we're trying to bridge the skills gaps through our apprenticeship offerings. If you fast forward to now, we're now an established tech and digital provider with over 300 members of staff working across the country. And in 2011, there was only 3 people working for the business. And so there's been a lot of success since 2011. Next slide, please. But our vision is to create as many opportunities as we possibly can for people of all ages who are looking to start their careers within the tech industry. To achieve this, we now work with over 1,300 clients across the country, helping them grow their talent through the delivery of high quality apprenticeship programs. These can be new apprentices coming to join the business or existing staff looking to upskill their development. And what we're seeing at the minute is a lot of the ages of our apprentices are getting a lot older due to a lot of the fields that we teach not getting taught at an academic level. So the easiest way for these individuals to get their foot in the door in the likes of marketing and our other offerings is through this level 3 apprenticeship. Next slide, please, Louise. Thank you. So who can benefit from our programs is a question that I get asked about 10 times a day, and I can't really give people a definite answer. All types of people can benefit from our programs. In regards to our specific offering, we have a level 3 offering and we also have a level 4 offering. So as you can see on the screen here, level 3 is 9 times out of 10 used for new recruits for a passion within the subject area, junior members of your existing team, but also team members with an interest in changing career. For example, if you have a finance assistant who had a passion in digital marketing, they can progress within the marketing team through our apprenticeship to help with their development. Level 4, as you can see there, apprentices progressing from level 3, and across all of our route ways, 95% of people who complete their program progress from level 3 to level 4. So it's a really popular route to upskill staff, and new recruits with experience or qualifications in the area, and members of your staff who have 1 to 5 years experience within their field too. Brilliant. Now, our approach, so with tech and digital, we can't have a one-size-fits-all approach because all different types of teams will use different tools, different softwares, and their objectives will be very, very different. So we understand this in every business, workplace, and job role is different. So our apprenticeship programs go above and beyond the actual apprenticeship standard, offering learners the opportunity to gain specialist certifications and become industry experts. So this allows our programs to be tailored and personalised to suit individual roles, goals and business needs. Something that we also pride ourselves in massively is our technical expertise. So our technical training covers the knowledge, skills and behaviours required for every apprenticeship standard, and our environment builds skills and understanding through a mixture of expert training, hands-on activities and group discussions. To build upon that, the people delivering our apprenticeship programs are industry experts. They've rather had a career within that specific field or have the relevant qualifications to deliver that apprenticeship program. And again, like other colleges and other providers, what we like to really pride ourselves in is character and confidence building. And we like to look after the apprentices upon completion of the programme, but of course, while they're on the programme too. So we have a strong focus on developing and supporting our learners to become resilient and well-rounded professional employees. So that's office etiquette, how to act in and around an office. And we do this for a full package of personal development curriculum, such as character and confidence building, critical and thinking and leadership, to name a few. Next slide, please, Louise. So I won't go into the ins and outs of what's included in all of the offerings because I appreciate some of the jargon used on the screen here is rather technical. One of the offerings that Baltic offer as a business is a data and analysis offering. And as mentioned at the start of the call, the webinar, we have two offerings in this. We have a level 3 junior offering, and we also have a level 4 data offering. Level 3 is used for new individuals coming to join the team, and level 4 is used for individuals who have 1 to 2 years experience within that specific field. Again, moving on from that, we can tailor the program to best suit your individual's needs. As you can see there, MOS Excel Associate is another certification that you will get upon completion of level 3. That's a massive piece of software that is used by millions of people across the UK. So we need to offer specific training in that. And moving on to the level 4 program courses for Power BI, Python, etc. And on the right hand side of the screen, pass rate is outstanding. If I'm honest, 90% pass rate, and over 50% of those people have achieved the highest grade possible. And as you can see then on the right hand side, there's suitable job titles for each given person. Next slide, please, Louise. Again, one of the other offerings, which is quite one of our most popular offerings, is our ICT offering. Now, we used to just deliver an ICT support program, but we expanded upon that and gone into the networking side of things because we've noticed that when it comes to the IT market, that is a sector that's going through continuous growth. So we need to get our foot in the door and deliver specific apprenticeships. Right hand side of the screen is the level 3 and level 4 job titles that are 9 times out of 10 used within someone's internal ICT team or help desk team. And our pass rate again is outstanding with this one, with 98.5% of the people have passed, and to over 25% of those people have all achieved the highest possible grade that they can get. I will send this PowerPoint over at the end of the webinar, but I won't go too far into detail in regards to what's covered on each course because I appreciate that some people on the call won't be specialised in these fields. So I won't go into it too much. But next slide, please, Louise. Thank you very much. So if I'm being completely honest, this is one of my favourite apprenticeship programs that Baltic actually offer. It's a really practical, hands-on program, and it teaches people how to code in a live environment. And we have the highest market share in the country when it comes to software development apprenticeships. And again, over 95% of the individuals have passed the apprenticeship program. It's best suited towards junior programmers, support analysts and junior developers. But what we're seeing an uptake at the minute is the level 4 job titles, is the games development, games programmer, and we can offer specific training to any business into the apprentices training. So we would understand someone's tech stack and implement that into the apprenticeship delivery. Next slide, please, Louise. Thank you. And so this is our digital marketing offering. Again, we split this into 2 different route ways. We have a level 3 digital marketer, which focuses on the analytical side of marketing, and we have a level 3 content creation program, which focuses on creating content through audio content, visual content, or written content too. As you can see there on the right-hand side, digital marketing assistant are again along with the other job titles that you can use for this apprenticeship program. But what we're seeing massive uptake and interest at the minute is businesses that don't have anyone within the company that can run their social media. The director will do it themselves, or if you're a business owner, you can do it themselves. But at the end of the day, you have a job to be doing. So they've been employing these apprentices to run their social media for them, increasing the brand awareness and online presence that much. They're currently looking for a few others as well. So it's a really, really beneficial program if you're looking to grow your brand awareness for a cheap alternative way of doing that too. Next slide, please, Louise. Yeah, thank you very much. So one thing that Baltic can offer as well as a provider, and something that I'm really proud of, is we have a massive community here at Baltic. So we want to know how our apprentices are doing on the program, what they're getting up to. So we offer Baltic Live, which is a podcast that we do every other week, and we invite our clients in, our apprentices in, who will discuss their time on program with our internal teams. We have a Baltic community, which is a learner community platform that you will also have access to if you are a business owner or a line manager. It's essentially a Facebook for all of our apprentices, and it's an app that you can download onto your phone, and you can put statuses on about your apprenticeship program. You can tag our internal coaches or ask any of our internal teams here at Baltic a question, and we'll get back to you straight away. And a lot of you may be familiar with this too. We also offer headspace to our apprentices, because times can get quite difficult sometimes, specifically when they're working towards deadlines or looking to submit portfolios. So they can take away some time using Headspace to relax, de-stress, and get expert advice on how to handle the hard things in life sometimes. And Baltic Champions, we celebrate our success. We celebrate the people that we work with and our learners multiple times throughout the year. So we have a bit of a champions campaign in relation to that. Next slide, please, Louise. Yeah, that is everything from me. My contact details are there if you're looking to get in contact with myself or any of the wider team to discuss the offering in more detail. But yes, any questions for myself now or at the end of the call? I do talk very quick, so yeah, apologies. No?
Thank you, Patrick. That was lovely.
No problem.
I can't see any questions right now, so no, that's fine. Thank you. We
No
will
probs.
move on to the next. So up next, just to introduce a colleague that I work with in the employment skills team. So it's Elaine. She's just going to chat about the free impartial employee support offer that we provide Leeds employers, and the specific focus with that around apprenticeships. So over to you, Elaine.
Thanks, Louise. And just to say, I think Lee's joined us now, so if I pass on to Lee when I've finished my slide. So thank you. And as Louise said, my name's Elaine Waugh, and I'm an Employment and Skills Officer on the Employment and Skills team. There's lots of ways in which we work with Leeds businesses, particularly to give impartial advice and guidance on apprenticeships, but also to help employers promote those apprenticeships and ultimately recruit the right people to them. Whichever training provider you decide to go with as an employer to deliver your apprenticeship, that training provider will be able to advertise your opportunity or opportunities on the gov.uk website, and potential applicants can view the vacancies. To build on that, there's lots of things that we can do to kind of get that vacancy out there, to promote it on different platforms. So one of the tools that we use is a weekly newsletter that goes out called Opportunities in Leeds, and it reaches almost 10,000 recipients across the Leeds area. So lots of people who will be in a position of looking for opportunities, looking for work, and it's an easy way of getting that out there to such a large audience. So that's something that goes out on a weekly basis on a Friday, and it's a really popular way of advertising opportunities that employers have. We also have very active social media channels, so our Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram and LinkedIn. We often share opportunities for employers on there. We've got a lot of people who are following those pages, and they're definitely a good way of, again, getting those opportunities out there and active in the community. Another part of the team that we work on are the Employment Hub. And the Employment Hub support people. The Employment Hub are a team of advisors who support people who are looking for work. So that's people from age 15 up to retirement age and beyond. And the Employment Hub advisors work with a caseload of around sort of 50 people each. So there will be a number of people on there who, from different circumstances, they might be looking for work, they might be in work and looking to change career, they might be a career returner after a break. They could have been made redundant, all variety of circumstances, but people who are looking for opportunities at the moment. So we can share details of any opportunities that our employers have, and the Employment Hub advisors are really good at identifying customers that they will have on their caseload who might match with what that employer is looking for. So it's kind of a matching service, really. And again, a really good way of making sure that we promote that vacancy to appropriate parties that are interested in that type of opportunity. We do have another newsletter that goes out. This one is on a monthly basis, and this goes out to all the careers leads in schools and colleges across the Leeds area. It's the CEIAG newsletter, and there's a lot of information that goes in there, and it's just, again, another really good platform to get those opportunities advertised. On top of the sort of advertising we can do and the promotion for you, we do deliver 4 main events throughout the year. And we invite employers to exhibit at each of those events. They're a really good platform to recruit. It's a great way of meeting a number of potential candidates at one time. And we do send notification out. I believe notification went out at the start of the year, but we do contact employers throughout the year to invite them to exhibit at the events. They're all held at the Leeds First Direct Arena, and in the information that does come out to you after the webinar, we can include information about those events as well. So in terms of support to promote your vacancies, that's kind of the main things we do, and we do have a lot of success in using those channels. As described, there's a lot of sort of wide audiences that those are shared with using the methods described in the slide. We can also work one-to-one with one of the employment and skills officers who we can talk you through, advising you on the apprenticeships, giving you impartial advice and guidance on your route way. And we also might be able to signpost on to other organisations, other colleagues who could talk to you about funding streams and things like that that might be available to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Elaine. Right, I'll just stop sharing there. So I think, we've got Lee on. So what I'll do is I'll just skip back to just bring up the college presentation. There we go. Right, Lee. So I'm just introduce Lee Chadwick from Leeds City College.
Hi, Louise.
Yeah. Just let me know when you want to change slides.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Brilliant. I apologise for the late arrival. I had technology issues, believe it or not. We've been looking.
These things happen, don't worry.
Well, we've been looking for an apprentice who can fix it for us, but I couldn't find one. Yes, I'm Lee Chadwick. I'm the head of digital and IT at our Printworks campus, and I speak on behalf of Luminate today, our Luminate group. And I will, on the next slide, please, Louise. There we go. We're looking at our different campuses. We put those in. I know today's digital, but what we have got is a great array of other subjects that we offer to the same employers, and we find that the employers that we work with, our partners, take students from different areas, and as a consequence, our location. Next slide, please, Louise. our campuses are very close together. So what we try and do as a wraparound service to our partners and employers is to bring them into the campus. And that is to fully develop the package that the employer is going to get as an individual. And that's the difference for us between taking it from a standard for everyone to a standard for one individual. The PowerPoint is available for everyone after this. The details will be there. Next slide, please. We've looked at the slides from two angles when we developed this, and one of them was from the apprentice and one from the employer. We still get inquiries every single day. I'd like to have an apprentice, but what do I have to do, and what is an apprentice? So we've covered some of the details in the slides here, for instance. So if I'm insulting anyone's intelligence, forgive me. It wasn't intended. We're looking at the difference between a year and 2 years apprentice. Sometimes that can be a constraint to someone, but what we do explain is that the duration is defined by the subject or the academic level, and we go through those. An example is, for instance, the level 2 apprenticeships we offer are 12 months long. And we're currently looking at the most exciting one we've got at the moment is a level 7 AI. We're thrilled with, and that's loaded with ChatGPT, GPT-3, and all these other things. So at the moment it's 2 years, but it might just take a little bit longer if we get a bit too much interest in that. So that's the shape of the apprenticeship and duration from our angle. Next slide, please. We then go further into what is an apprentice, and the difference between on the job and off the job is not easy, is not clear for everyone. What we like to do is agree at the very beginning the on the job and off the job with both apprentice and employer, and the assignments that we develop with the employer are contextualized. So we don't have a standard assignment, if you want. It suits their employment place. And we can, because of that, we can actually put lots of different things in there. The academic side of it, the teaching side, is depending on the standard or the apprentice. It's face-to-face or blended learning, remote learning. One of the old-fashioned guys, I suppose. I prefer the face-to-face, where you can engage. But there's some of the stuff that we deliver is perfect for the remote learning, such as testing the new AI and things like that. So as well as the off the job, on the job, using one file and such, which we go through in detail, we also highlight that the actual assessment side of it is more personalized. And basically it's a run on from our other provision that we have. So it really is a nice way of approaching a product to an employer and then a potential apprentice. Next slide, please, Louise. These are the levels that we currently have and we roll with. The level 7 is a new one, as I say. We just work with BCS on this one. But what we do have, and we discussed this in previous meetings, is the ability to progress. And it doesn't tend to come up much. So if someone's completed a level 2, for instance, can they progress to a level 3 apprenticeship? And again, that's all part of the customized approach with the employer, because an employer could be with us for 5 years with the same people. And that's how we work with it. There's other ways we customize things as well. The progression opportunities, we invite potentially, if it's a face-to-face, other employees from the same company. So this is the ultimate shape your own people for the future. So they're all learning together. The apprentice is in the same environment as the colleagues. So this is the package. And as I've just said, we can work through the levels. We're there looking at higher level degrees, which we carry out at our university centre and more. These are very successful. Patrick's got some tremendous achievement figures he mentioned before. They are envious. But we're the same. We got the same way of working, and we're 20-30% above our benchmarks. So if that's one thing to go by, you're going to hear a lot of good stuff today from us all. We also offer, and I don't want to take too much away from Jazz today, but we offer ways into our apprenticeships and levels using CAS and the step into apprenticeship programs and the other general programs that will enable a bridge for someone to potentially start a level 3 apprenticeship. These are all free. These are all accredited and part of the experience for us that we offer. So that's how we go through the levels. Next slide, please, Louise. I'm sure everybody today will have by now got a bit fed up with the word digital, and it's breaking down or demystify, as one of our chief execs say, demystify digital. And that's the levels and the skills and everything else. But there's a slide there that's got all of our other areas where there's standards involved. But every single one of them requires digital. And I'm leading on to that. I'm going that way now. So what we're talking about today is something that changes the world. It keeps the world rolling. And the foundation, the bedrock of it all will be the apprenticeships, because they keep things rolling. The mix between academic and the employment place. Next slide, please. We do have apprenticeships that do cross subject areas. So if my colleague, for instance, in engineering, as one of the standards that they offer requires coding, whatever, we come together. So we get the best of both worlds in the CAD and such. And it's something that works well within the group. Now, Patrick's mentioned a couple there of his favourites, and I think I agree with him. I do like the creative aspects within digital. He's getting more creative all the time. But I don't think it's any coincidence that one of our top 2 is digital marketing as well, because it crosses so many areas. It does, and we can, for instance, in the digital marketing, we do the programming, but we do programming aimed at the Web3 platform that's coming in, and we aim it at the social media side of programming, not just the project side within Visual Studio. So it takes on a new beast that's completely career ready and usable when you go into the workplace. The other side, again, to echo Patrick, is the ICT side. So to my colleagues in other subject areas, they call it the softy bits and the techie bits. We call it the creative and the tech. So those are our 2 mainline standards. But I will say, though, that we've just done a big run on IT sales apprenticeship, which is massively popular. And you may have seen it at the recent National Apprenticeship Week fairs. So that will probably be our number 1 quite soon. But as you can see, the amount of careers in there are endless. But we do the games as well. And it was interesting, Patrick saying it before, because we have games apprentices who go into construction, because they're applying their actual creative skills, their 3D skills and environment skills within a construction environment, using packages such as Revit, 3D Studio. I'm going to basically career ready for construction. So it's a multi-skilled environment that we all create. Next slide, please, Louise. Again, this is aimed at the learner more than anything else. But what I will echo is that we will send our people in to speak with our partners, our employers, and so on, who are specialists in their field. it's a challenging field being an apprentice overseer, but to be an expert in your subject field as well takes it to a new level. But we're proud to say that we can offer this. So if somebody comes to us and says, I need an apprenticeship that will cover this, that, and the other for us, we'll send our team of 2 or 3 in. Between them, we can come up with the offer and the package that fits a standard, but also fits the employer. Again, it's something that is difficult to market, and you can only talk about. But that's something there, and I think from feedback we can collate that. But part of the service. Next slide, please. This for me is not just the best part of the relationship, but this is the crucial element. This is the bit that you put right from minute one, that when the apprentice is going through EPA and they're finding their questions are completely in line with what they've been experiencing, all comes from this. All comes from this. It's easy to misalign standards with employers when you have an employer who wants an apprentice but doesn't have the specialism themselves. And it's that. So it could be they want something cloud related, and then we'll send somebody in, and at the end of the day, it wasn't really cloud related, it was digital marketing and so on. This for me is the most part of the journey. And that's why we like the employers to come into Printworks and the group, and Patrick, I'm sure you're the same at Baltic. To get the employers in is vital. And that for me is a valuable part of the process. You shape your standard, you shape your people, you build the future. We work together, and that's it. That's it. Next slide, please. I am not Cheryl McFarlane, as you can probably tell. Cheryl is elsewhere today, but Cheryl is our queen of the apprenticeships in digital, and she's the ultimate enthusiast. She's the ultimate apprenticeship pioneer, and we'd really love you to give us a ring or email Cheryl on those numbers with any questions that you may have or you wish us to follow up with. And if anybody has any questions now, please fire away.
Thank you very much for that, Lee.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I think really great to hear from a range of different providers today. And what's probably really interesting, sort of resonating through, is that the apprenticeships can be shaped to the employer's needs, which I think is quite interesting and quite important in terms of that it's not, although there's a set standard, actually there's a lot of employer involvement by the sounds of it with all organisations. So I think that's really good. We're really of interest to employers that actually it can be shaped to what skills needs are. So thank you. Does anyone have any questions? If you want to raise your hand or pop in the chat box. Yes, Jazz. You're on mute.
No, hopefully that's better. I was just going to ask, is there, in terms of a regional level, is there apprenticeship vacancies within the digital sector? Is it more the lack of apprentices, or is there lack of vacancies? Which side are we? Or is it a bit of both? So probably going to ask Patrick and Lee.
Yeah, I would say for myself, Jazz, good question. I feel like it'll be a mix of both, if I'm honest with you. I feel like Lee might touch upon this with the use of tech and digital boot camps in a minute across the country. The candidate side of things is on the uprise because people are starting to access free learning prior to them getting onto the apprenticeship. And there's always work to be done through getting other employers on board. But I feel like at the minute, yes, there is more to be done. But from looking at sort of forecasting and projections, it's on the uprise, which in this nature in this industry is all you can ask for, really.
I agree completely. I think the more changes we go through as well with apprenticeships, people tend to fall out of love with apprenticeships, what they used to know. So years back, we had modern apps and so on, and people go from this to that. And I think as new products come out, such as T-level, which for some people they see as a halfway house between the two, devalues the apprenticeship product in a way. So I think there's that thing. I think what we've been working on as well, Baltic also, is raising awareness of what we offer, raising awareness of what we can do, but also educating the employers. We believe there are apprenticeships out there, Jazz. We do, but we don't feel that the people where the apprenticeships are aware themselves. They're waiting potentially for academics to either leave university or level 3 and progress. And the one big difference there is this, and what I was saying before is they'll take someone on as a graduate or undergraduate, and they then have to start from stair one, shape one, call it what you want, and build the person to what they have. Their skill set might be completely different. That's not saying what they've achieved is anything less. It's not. It's wonderful. If somebody takes an apprentice from day one, where they're doing the academic and the on-site and off-the-job research, they're actually building their own staff. And that is what I think has been lost. Also looking at standards and how we customize, as Louise was echoing before. So I think the jobs are out there. I think we need to help sometimes people to understand that they can do it. And more events like the National Apprenticeship Week was fabulous. The Leeds Digital Fest, all of the fests. But let's make apprenticeship special once again. What it is, and let people know. Thank you.
I've got a question no one else has. So from employees' point of view, are apprenticeships a cost-effective way to recruit people and gain skills into their organisation?
I would absolutely say so, Louise. Yes. So when I speak with senior leaders specifically in the software industry, there's two pain points that we normally come across. It's the cost of actually recruiting someone, and it is the retention of that specific individual. So a lot of the leaders that I speak to will pay 20% of a developer's salary, which we all know that developers' salaries are rather high. They'll pay. I spoke with someone last week who paid £8,000 to get a senior developer in, just in recruitment fees, and then that obviously person was lined up to leave the next 4 to 5 months, because naturally that's the progression that developers take. However, the benefit for them utilising apprenticeships is our recruitment service, like Leeds City College, is completely free. We have a team of in-house industry experts who recruit apprentices all day, every day. It's their bread and butter. And to sort of put the cherry on top, there's a 95% retention rate across the avenue. So there's two elements that are blocked off there. The free recruitment process, and we can retain the staff through apprentices because they're more likely to be thankful to the employer and through apprenticeship loyalty and customer loyalty too. So yeah, definitely Louise, definitely a cheaper alternative.
Absolutely agree. And in many cases, you'll find that employers actually top up the money that they pay. They reward their employees, their apprentices, and build up the value. There's also incentives for employers to do this. And if you look at the research, an employer may take on a level 3 student, but if it's an apprentice, they tend to take 1.5 or a little bit more. So it's less of a risk, less of a gamble. It's cost effective, and they've got the person to shape them. And the retention, what Patrick says, is interesting, because I think the employer feels part of the responsibility for the retention. Whereas with other areas, it might be, well, I'll just go and get somebody else. And yeah, so cost, absolutely. Definition and ownership and empowerment. Yeah, all in that package.
Any further questions? I can ask another one. So just what happens at the end of the apprenticeship in terms of, they've done 12 months, 2 years, whatever it is, what happens with that employee relationship or with that apprentice?
For us, it's completely up to that given employer. Obviously, a win-win for all parties is if that apprenticeship progresses from level 3 to level 4 or level 4 higher. Due to it being the employer's contract of employment, it's completely up to them what they choose to do with the apprentice at the end. They're not obliged, they're not tied down to keeping the person on into full-time employment. But with the success rates and the adaptability that these apprenticeship standards can offer businesses, a lot of them do retain the staff. And we have a number of case studies, someone starting as a marketing apprentice who are now the head of strategy or the director of marketing, so they progress through. So yeah, a lot of people do stay on.
Yeah, it's the progression is the big thing, and they tend to, well, the question, Louise, was what did he do at the end? I think we all know in this forum that the outcome's known 6 months before the end, because of the feedback we get from the employers and the apprentices and everything else. They already know what they're going to do. So at the end, for us, what happens then is the person progresses. They tend to come back and ask us for another one of that person. They don't tend to ask for that standard. They always ask for that person. So there's that. But we find that once they've worked for the employer through the 2 years, they rarely leave. It's like a foot in the door that never ever goes. It's rarely it goes the other way. So there's that. The endpoint assessment, of course, at the end reflects what the experience has been. But yeah, I would say at the end that's what happens. But we know in hand.
Thank you very much. Right, I'm just going to share the contact details again just as we finish. So just as a reminder, there's the contact details on there for each of our webinar partners today. So you've got Cheryl for the college, the generic skills at West Yorkshire Colleges for College of Consortium of Colleges on behalf of Jazz, and then Patrick Brown's email as well there, and then our ES employers if you want to contact us for any information, support or guidance about apprenticeships as well, or any follow-ups. So that's on there if anyone wants to take a picture of that. We will share these as well. So we'll share the webinar recording and all of the slides as well for those that have booked on. So you will have a copy of them as well. And if you do want to get in touch, either just let us know or we can pass on email details. Obviously, you've got details there to do it directly as well. So perhaps, so thank you very much to everyone that's joined us. Thank you especially to our topic partners, so Jazz, Lee and Patrick, just for spending your time with us on the Thursday lunchtime and chatting through apprenticeships with us. We really appreciate it, and I hope everyone's found it really useful.
Thank you.
So,
No problem. Thank you, Louise, and thank you, Elaine.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.